Hi there, Somatek is here. Oh no. Hello there, Somatek is here. Back. Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 9. And I'm not sure if this thing will hold on for an hour, but we'll see. Right? And today's episode, we're gonna discuss a lot of things. Right? It's cool, it's in the morning right now, so I should have my jacket on. So one thing that I think we should discuss first, I just watched an episode of Game of Thrones. It's part of the reason I didn't record this podcast yesterday. I'm recording it now because I wanted to watch episode 2 of Game of Thrones. Sorry. I've watched it now and man. Okay, so the first episode, if you've seen it, I think there's no need for me to go over what happened, but in the first episode you see that they showed all characters appeared, and it was too not like Game of Thrones. It was too calm. It was too calm, right? So nothing that much happened. So we were shown Caesar's kingdom. What do you call the place? King Landing and whatever. We showed all the characters, and it was calm. Everything. There wasn't any or too much conflicts going on, right? So in this second episode as well, you've seen that they are preparing us for war. Alright, so episode 3 is where the war will take place. Alright, the big war, White Walkers, or the living versus the dead. That's the episode everyone is waiting for right now. And if it were possible, we'll just skip to next week now, because man, you wanna see that thing, right? Because what's this? There's a lot of my alarm just went off. There's a lot of speculations, right, regarding that who's gonna take the throne. Obviously I still think Littlefinger can take the throne. Obviously the guy hasn't shown up yet in Game of Thrones. So maybe they show him up in episode 5 or whatever. Maybe he's really dead. Unlikely, man. Unlikely that guy is dead, because his death wasn't timed. Timed, the correct way to say. Wasn't perfectly planned. Is that correct as well? But the theory, if you've seen those YouTube theories, I've been watching them, that guy should be able to come back. And why is this here? I was reviewing this thing, my Bluetooth speaker. Okay, so that guy should be able to come back and maybe kill the White Walkers. Alright, that's what I'm thinking is gonna happen, and that's what I hope is gonna happen. What else? Game of Thrones, man, is one of those things I'm happy I'm alive while it happens, alright, in real time, right? And it's not gonna be the same for someone who's gonna see it next year, because they'll have all that thing, and they wouldn't be that feel of being like live, sort of seeing the thing, because that's another feeling that's connected to this thing as well. Okay, that had me because I'm black thing. I couldn't write the beat about it, so it's still coming. This week's podcast is boring. Damn, man, damn. Okay, what I wanted to talk about also, I'm not sure if I'll go back to Game of Thrones, but another thing I wanted to talk about is what I call the I'm better than you in some kind of way, defense mechanism, sort of, right? Man, I'm not sure if it's the lights or whatever, but there's something like an irritating feeling of some sort. Maybe I should have some slice of bread ready to go away. So how this thing works, this thing called life, is very surprising, right? So me as a person, I hate lights, right? So in my years as doing the previous degree in university, I had a roommate for first, second year, and one thing we would argue about a lot were the lights, right? So that guy would leave the main light on, right, all the time. So in double rooms, what you have is you have there's the main light for both of you to see, and then also they're in separate rooms. So for roommates, I'm sleeping here, the guy is sleeping there. Can see him, he can see me, right? So there is his light there for working, like for studying and whatever. Next to his table, there is mine this side, and then there is the main light, right? So your light, okay, let me finish opening up this cheese. So right now it's 5 a.m. in the morning. I shouldn't be eating, but I'm irritated. So what's this? The guy would always leave the main light on. That would be my problem, right? Because that light was too much, so I would have headache. It's funny now that I'm making videos and I work with lighting, right? So I have 4 lights on right now. Just the room light on, this light, that light, and that light. Oh, and the moonlight there, right? If my roommate had to walk in here, okay, so as I was saying, if my roommate had to walk in here, my previous roommate or ex-roommate, he'd think that I was exploiting him. Well, I didn't want him to leave the light running back when we were roommates. Right? So I've eaten right now. I took Jordan Peterson's advice, saying whenever you feel irritated or whatever, start by checking if you're not hungry. Right? If hunger has been solved as a problem, then you can move on to other things. Because if you're hungry, you get easily irritated. In isiZulu we say indlala iyalibanga ulaka, which means hunger causes anger, something of that sort, right? So it makes you easily irritated, right? So let's get back to what I wanted to talk about. The first thing, right? This thing of I'm better than you in some sort of way, type of defense mechanism. I've seen this a lot with people, right? I don't like doing it, obviously, but maybe I've seen myself doing it as well. And this thing of wanting to, what is this? So the first time you're seeing someone, right, and it's the first conversation you have with that person, and one thing comes to mind is the fact that you want to show superiority over them, so that you could have confidence or have them look you in some sort of way. Is that it? And have, I'm not sure if that's what you call it, but when you sort of like in the what's this, in the first meeting, and then you're busy talking about your achievements and whatever, you want them to rate you on those achievements, right? And then also another thing is, okay, I get this achievement thing, although it might also fall under this, but there's also this thing of, no, I want to show you that I'm better than you, although it's not explicit, but I've seen it with people. Right? I've had I've gone up to people, and okay, my last experience was this person going up to her and saying, I want you to be my mod. Should I tell the story? What if this person listens to this? Fuck. Not sure. But this person was telling me about a lot of things. Obviously, I'm a good photographer, right? And obviously, there's still things to improve, and I didn't feel the need to tell her that I'm a good photographer. I gave her time to reconsider her decision, right? But the way she went on it, I felt like she exerted some sort of, no man, I'm better than you and whatever. And I've seen myself doing it. I'm not sure if people understand what I'm talking about here. I'm not making it very clear as well, but that's the thing, the I'm better than you syndrome or defense mechanism. And maybe it's one of the things I wish I had listeners, people who would say if they're getting me or not, and then correcting me as well, because maybe you've seen this happening when someone tells you about his accomplishments and whatever. At the first time you're seeing them, they wanting you to feel that they are superior than you, right? It's not a very good way to show someone that you are. I think you shouldn't even have to show someone that you are better than them in the first place. But yeah, that's the thing. Another thing I wanted to talk about, this relating to that guy Jordan Peterson. I saw if you don't know, that guy had a debate, so it was like an anticipated it was like a boxing match, right, between him and Slavoj Zizek, something like that, the Slovenian professor guy who's a Marxist, right? So those guys had a debate about happiness, capitalism, and communism. That's what they were arguing about, right? So that debate, to view it live online, obviously you had to pay. So I didn't have that money. But what I saw on Reddit, I saw people complaining. No, not complaining, sort of. But yeah, sort of saying that guy didn't prepare well for the debate, and also didn't know who's this guy? Zizek. Is called Zizek or Zizek, something like that. He didn't know his work very well before debating him. Not sure how true that is, but obviously there was a hint of that. And another thing that I thought was a factor there was, most people follow Jordan Peterson and they know his work, right? So it's kind of easy to push him like far and say, man, I've heard this stuff, so I know this stuff about you, and I've listened to you maybe hundreds of hours, and so I know, I've heard you say stuff, right? Most of the stuff that you're gonna say, and this guy is a new person. Alright, so you'll have like first time encounter with the guy, right? And it turns out that guy is a funny guy. Obviously, so I enjoyed that debate very well, and it was enjoyable seeing people of that intellect debate issues surrounding or issues in the broader community or in the world, right? They also research. That guy is very funny, man. He also mentioned the problem in South Africa, this thing of this thing of the race card that is being played whenever there is a problem on the elections, right? We know that people want to vote ANC because mainly because it's led by black people. People are afraid that the DA, if it could take a lead, will go back to apartheid, which I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure if it's called dumb or foolish or stupid. And I don't think that's the right way to say, but I'm not sure. Maybe naive you'd have to be to think that it will be in anyone's best interest to go back into that sort of system right now, right? I don't think it's good to say we don't trust the white guys because of that, because most of the guys that are alive right now went in that administration or in that time where those crimes were committed, and blacks or EFF and ANC and whatever, they seem to have committed a lot of crimes themselves that now that they're in power. Alright, so yeah, it's a problem, this thing of voting ANC because they're black guys. Oh, it's also the same thing that I talked about last last week, this thing of me because I'm black, not because I'm capable or I'm competent of performing whatever duties. I want to be led with people who are capable of leading, who've shown that they are capable. Also, if someone has been seen or is proven to be not reliable, you don't continue on choosing that person, you change it. I think if ever we could have ANC as an opposition party, we could sort of end the corruption that's there, because if you're taking ANC out as an opposition as a leader and make it an opposition party, I think it would be easier for people to weed out all the corruption that's in the organization, because they'd have nothing to lose compared to now. Now everyone has everything to lose, right? So yeah, that's that. Man, this thing is boring this week. It's not very connected. Fuck. So another thing as well was this thing is called Notre-Dame. I'm not sure how to call it, but this building burned down, right? This thing is what, 1,000 years ago, or 1,000 years old, or something like that. It's very old. It has stood test of time, and it has been here during wars and has stood still, right? So what has happened is that building fell, I think it was last week, because there was fire there. Alright, so there's been things that have been going on, right? Obviously this is a historical building. It's catching fire was in the news for a while, and it was all people were talking about. Alright, there were two things that caught my attention in regards to this story. So one, the cross there right? So the cross in that what was this? The cross in that building, right? So that was a church, sort of. The cross in that building remained standing, right? And that's because it's made of gold and what is this? It's made of gold and the fire couldn't meet the what is this? It's not a specific heat temperature. It's the temperature or the melting point of gold, right? It wasn't that high to meet the temperature, right? That's what people are saying. Obviously, that's true, but there is another way of looking at this. So obviously, social media has been arguing about. So people were saying, okay, this building burned down, but look, the cross is still standing. This means God. What is this? God. It's a lot of things, but shows you. The people were saying it implies the existence of God, or it implies the power of God, and whatever, right? And most of them were arguing, sort of, because most people are dumb enough, not they are dumb enough, but think they are smart whenever they're arguing about the existence of God, because they argue in the way that no man, God, there is no man in the sky doing whatever, right? This thing of thinking of God only as this giant man in the sky who can see everything, right? Obviously, I have no knowledge of that. I can't say it's true or false or whatever, but that's not the point here. Is that people think they are smart because they can point it out, right? They're thinking because I argued that God is not. What's this? There is no man in the sky, so whatever you're saying about God can't be true. So my way of looking at this was, because I've changed the way, not changed, but sort of improved the way I think about God and whatever. It was some sort of a what's this? Oh, another thing that's related to this as well. There are billionaires who've pledged some money to restore the church, obviously to rebuild it, and people have been complaining, saying, no man, there is world hunger, there is what? There is people who don't have water, there is a lot of things that are happening in the world right now. We can't have you spend all that money on restoring this old church, right? That's what people are saying right now, that there are a lot of other problems, right? I'm not sure how. Okay, I don't want to use the word dumb, because I'm not that smart as well. So my perspective is absolute, but I hate when people think like that, right? Why did this guy buy $1.2 million vehicle? Because there's a lot of people who are struggling. Why didn't he give that money to those people who are struggling? It is money in the first place, and secondly, as Jesus put it, he said, there'll always be people who are struggling. There'll always be beggars. There'll always be whatever. Right? I think that's important to look at. Right? Because no matter how far you try to solve those, okay, you can try and solve problems like your world hunger and try to make sure that people don't go hungry. Hunger is eliminated, but people will always have problems. There'll always be problems in the world. That means we have to do what we can to preserve things like your this dome or whatever. Didn't even know about it, but those things are sort of places that have too much significance to be let just bend down like that, right? Because they have too much significance in our history and what mankind can accomplish when they're working together. I think it took about 200 years to build that thing. So the people who started the building went there to see it being finished. And that says a lot about humanity, right? The things we do as people in this world, right? The sort of dedication towards a goal, the common goal, right? And that cross there, for most people, the cross represents some sort of, it has been explained by Jordan Peterson. It's you bear your cross, so existence is suffering, so you must take your suffering and rise from it, right? Face it, right? So when you're seeing, obviously there is this dogmatic, they call it dogmatic part of the religion as well. I think also have that myself, but that cross signifies a lot more than just being a cross. That signifies, I think when you think of God, there's this highest value that you can attain, and then you see that the bending down of whatever that dome is, the bending down of whatever the structure that consists of that, the highest value that you can attain. Even if the structure bends down, the value still remains. I think if you think of it that way, then you're saying, no matter how hard my problems are, but I still arise forth and bear my cross and try to achieve or try and work towards God, right? Towards the highest goals or whatever. That's how I think of the thing. So it's too significant, that thing of that cross remaining standing there means it can withstand the test of all, not all, but most tests, most distractions, sort of. So if you have a building of that nature and that history, you would want to preserve it because it means a lot more. Alright, we could have people that are hungry. There was always people that are hungry in the world, and maybe that's never gonna change. Maybe it's gonna change, but it doesn't matter if we don't have things to point to whenever we have troubles. We don't have things to to inspire us. Is inspire the right way. Not sure how to put this, but if we don't have things to say, this structure represents the power of humanity and whatever. So if we don't have those things, then we are doomed. Man, I'm too serious, right? But that's how I look at the thing. So yeah, if you're thinking of it just as that cross and that just a room that bent down and money shouldn't spend on it because there's other problems, damn man, I'm not sure. I don't think you're looking at it the right way, and my way is the right way. Fuck, no, I don't know if my way is the right way, but that's how I look at it. And looking at it as this simple-minded man in the sky type of way, that can't be accepted. But maybe there's another different way than mine, right? Okay, so let's move on from that one as well. So yesterday I watched a video. What is the video called? Let me see if I can find it now. I watched a video yesterday, so I'm running out of battery now. Oh, that's funny. I'm running out of battery. Let's see. So, the video is called "The Mystery at the Bottom of Physics." Man, that video inspired me most. Alright, so you think of physics as this what's this? How do you think of physics? You think physics, science, and whatever. You think that all that there is has been discovered. But that's not the case, right? We have constants in the world. That's the guy's argument. We have constants in the world. We have the speed of light. We have pi. We have whatever constants, E, and all that. The guy argues about, or makes a question about where those constants come from, right? How did it come about that we had those constants, and why do we have those constants? Who created them? Are those constants moving? If they are moving, are they still constants? Where are they moving? Right? All these fundamental questions with regards to physics, and also understanding our world, right? So that thing had this, or gave me the sense of, oh man, there is something we can still do here in physics, right? It's not like everything has been discovered, everything that there is to know about the universe. It's not like it's all been discovered. And that's the thing also, referring to this thing of, what's this, God and whatever, when people just simply dismiss, as dumb as it sounds, even the idea of the man in the sky. If you don't know everything about the universe, how can you say for sure then that it does this? This is this thing of saying what I know is absolute, which is a very dangerous thing to assume. And what's this? And yeah, there's these mysteries at the bottom of physics, as he called it, and there are things that are still worth investigating, right? So you think that physics, all that can be discovered has been discovered, but no, that's not the case, and there's still a lot of fields or part of physics that one can investigate and make breakthroughs, or help us understand how the world began and what's really happening, right? And also this goes back to I wanted to link this to this idea. How did I want to link it to that idea of I wanted to link it somehow with that idea of the highest structure, or the highest value of what humans can achieve when working together. There is that element that I got from watching that video. Fuck, I forgot. Man, damn. But there is that element of what humans can achieve when working together with the thing of science, and also there is the element that maybe you just don't know everything, right? I also know that I don't know everything, and maybe some things are more important to your existence than whatever right now. Maybe this thing of having one good, or God, as we say, being the highest value, maybe you need that as a person. And if that can be just be buried or burnt away by fire, then what else is there to live and look up to, right? Those things are very important. So talking about it lightly annoys me. Then I'm not sure when this thing will run out of battery, because now it's red. If it's red, it can run out at any time. But I think I'll continue the audio version of this podcast, even if the camera runs out. Okay, today is one of those days, man. It's one of those days. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, I was in Cape Town in the past. It was Friday, I think. Yeah, Friday. And man, I don't know Cape Town. That place is beautiful. Depending on where you go in Cape Town, right? So usually I'll just go with using a train, and then just go to that store or a mall or whatever that I want to buy from, right? Or when you passing by, we just get out of the train and then call an Uber or a Taxify or whatever, and then go to that spot that we want to go to, right? So what has happened is, it's this thing of, okay, let's stop the video there. So as I was saying, damn, I didn't record, man. As I was saying, so with Cape Town, there are buildings at that part, and the upper part of Cape Town where people are living, where it's residential area, it's communities, because you can see what has happened, or what is there are these buildings, right? It's like what do you see when you think of Mexico, right? It's Mexico and Brazil, they're favelas or something like that, but those are well built, sort of, and have painted, but it's that kind of community, right? It's almost the same as that community, sort of, right? It's built like that. It has beautiful paintings. When taking pictures there was fun, and I think I should do it again, right? That's what happened. And then what's the other thing? Yeah, I think I should make videos in Cape Town. Obviously I should dominate Cape Town. Another thing that I've been thinking about a lot, as you can see, my dressing style, it's not very well established, and I've been thinking of reasons why. First thing will be the fact that I'm broke. Alright, that's the basic reason of them all, the one at the bottom, right? But it's not guaranteed that if I wasn't broke, I would be dressing very nicely, right? One thing I've thought of seeing is that I don't have a dressing style. I just don't have it, and the reason I don't have it is that with most of my wardrobe, right, most of the stuff that I wear, it's hand-me-downs, right? So if you're wearing hand-me-downs, you kinda give up the what do you call the thing, opportunity to choose what you wear, right? Because if ever the person who mostly gives you clothes doesn't like something that they've had for a while, they just give it to you, and then the other person as well, and then the other person and the other person. It's not like you get the stuff from one person as well. and that causes you to wear a lot of different people's styles, right? And you don't have your own, right? I'm thinking maybe when I maybe make enough money to buy my clothes, and maybe when I have a home sort of my own, then that's when I have a style of my own in regards to clothing, right? What I've seen as well, no, I think I'm done with that right now, and my battery is running out, and I don't wanna record again after charging. So that will be it for this week's podcast. I enjoy making these, man, but this week I enjoy thinking out loud, which is the reason I'm doing this podcast, is thinking. But this week wasn't that much fun, was it? But still enjoyable doing it, because I've thought through all of my problems for the last week, or all of the things that I've seen as being problems. What's the thing? Or the bombs in, what's this? The bombs in, what's this place? I think it's Sri Lanka. Man, that's terrible. That's always terrible to hear those things. It's always terrible. I'm not sure, man. What did I miss talking about? Oh, damn. Yeah, I'm thinking there's something big I missed talking about. So the other thing was the Samsung's phone. Right, so I'm into tech. If you don't know that. Oh fuck, man. Whoa. Okay, so the Samsung news can wait for now. What I'm seeing here, man, damn, I'm not sure where is the world going right now, right? Where is the world going, man? Okay, I'm not talking about the Sri Lanka bombings and whatever. Obviously, that's said to happen. I don't know a lot about those issues, so I don't wanna discuss. Obviously, it's always said when people die of these mass shootings or crimes against humanity, is what that's called. But things that are agreed upon as the whole, as we are individuals or the world, things we agree that are not right. Right, killing a lot of innocent people like that, killing on its own, it's a very it's a very it's a crime against community, right? So what I'm saying here is, okay, so what has happened in the last few weeks or whatever, there's this country you should know about. It's called Ukraine, and has had problems with Russia in the past years. Even when there was this plane of theirs that disappeared, Russia was suspected of that. Not it disappeared, it crashed. Okay, yeah, I think it crashed. Didn't disappear. It was a Malaysian one that disappeared. Right. So what has happened is that there was a presidential election, all right, in Ukraine, and the last president didn't deal well with corruption. I think that's what they said. And the guy who ran for president was a comedian, right? It's a comedian guy who played the role of a president in one of the shows on television there. Right, that guy plays the role of being a president. So this is funny, man. Damn. How do things like this happen? This guy plays the role of being a president in a, let's say there was this, I'm creating a new series, and in this series I cast myself as the president, and the guy who goes through a lot as a child, growing up and then being the president, right, of the country. This is a show, right? This is not a true story. This is just a show. All right. So what happens? This guy runs for president. I'm not sure people love him that much that they say he acts well the position of being a president. Then let's just make him president. Obviously, there was this. I think it was a lady competing with this guy, but this guy was winning in polls and whatever. And right now, he's won the presidency of Ukraine. A comedian. Damn, man. Ah, shit. Things happen in the world. I think that's why people in South Africa are still voting NC. It's still like one of the most confusing things that still happens in South Africa. But you see that there are a lot of confusing things happening in the world, especially when it comes to electing someone for president. In USA, they elected, who's this guy? Oh, damn. They elected this guy, Donald Trump. When is someone I didn't? I'm not sure if anyone thought that guy was gonna win the election. I think even himself, he said so. He didn't think he was gonna win. I think that where they had a problem about where they had a problem about him making business dealings whilst running for office, right? He was supposed to give up that. His response was he didn't think he'd win. Just makes it makes you appreciate the situation, how crazy it was. And no one thought Donald Trump was gonna win, but he won. Right? This guy, it was sort of visible. The polls were pointing at him, but in the first place, the guy played the role of being a president in a show. Why make him president? Okay, I'm hoping this guy changes things for Ukraine. Obviously, that's what we hope, to move humanity forward. That's what we always hope for in presidents all over the world. And yeah, let's hope. Okay, this is funny, bro. This is very funny, man. That this guy won the election, and they're saying yeah, he won in a landslide. Do you know what the landslide is? Yeah, they're calling it the vaguest. Damn. This thing started as a joke, and the TV series that this guy acts in, it's called Servant of the People. And yeah, he's saying everything is possible. Man, yeah, I think anyone who doesn't believe anything is possible right now, I'm not sure which planet you've been living in, because anything is possible. If you can be a comedian, get an actor role, act as a president in that role, and then go on to be elected as a president of that country. I think it's one thing that this guy has made history on. He's the first one in the Guinness World Records, and he should be the last one. No other country should make a similar mistake. I'm just thinking, what if we could have in South Africa just one celebrity that just goes against everything that the ANC goes or stands for? But it's too late now to form a political organization. But man, if someone like Petrus Motsepe, obviously I don't think that guy will ever do something like that, but someone like Petrus Motsepe, someone we all agree that is a good guy, right? Someone like that. Obviously he may have his skeletons or whatever, but if we could have someone we all sort of agree that is a good guy and is liked by everyone, have them run for office and take South Africa, because I think that's what we need, so that organizations like the ANC don't have the entitlement, because that's the problem. They don't have the competence but the entitlement to govern South Africa. Damn, man, that's surprising. Man, I didn't even read the okay, let's go back to the Samsung issue. So what happened is the phone came in with the a protective coat on top of the screen, and users weren't supposed to remove that. But what has been happening with users, they were removing that thing and the screen would break. Alright, so it's one of the new rules, sort of something that to be anticipated, because this is new ground that we're breaking into here. So things won't necessarily work as how we've used to having things work, and I think that's fine. It's not a big deal, man. It's not a big deal. There's a Facebook data leak. I'm not sure why do I even have Facebook, but I think I'm stuck because Facebook owns Instagram. So man, there's a lot of things going on in Facebook, and the fact that people haven't written off Facebook goes to show how crazy the world is right now. We live in man, strange times, to put it lightly. Alright, I think that's it for me, man. What else do I want to talk about? Oh, BBM, I saw that as well, that BBM BlackBerry is ending the BBM service. It's about time. It's about time. Okay, it's hard to see business fail, because I'm gonna be a businessman myself. I'm interested in that. But yeah, man, it's about time. Let it go. Let it go. Oh man, I think I'm gonna talk about this the next time. Is it? I'm not sure if I'm going to talk about this the next time, or should I talk about it now? This thing of what was this? Shit, what is this thing I want to talk about? Instagram, right? Hiding likes, and this affects me. Obviously, I post videos and pictures on Instagram a lot, and man, I find it interesting, the thing of hiding likes. right? Obviously, right now I've grown in sort of confidence and what can you call it? Maturity. I'm not that mature, obviously, as you might have seen, but I don't. What's this? I'm not affected as much by the number of likes my post gets, but it will be interesting to see. Because I've seen this as well. It works with me as well. This trick, right? You're seeing this post and you're seeing that 500,000 people have liked it. So you might as well just like it, right? I'm interested in seeing how people now react to not seeing how many people have liked the picture and being like, do I like the picture? Not that 1,000,005 people have seen the video. Do I want to see the video? Right, that sort of thing. I'm interested in seeing that because I think it will make the world a better place somehow. It will push people to being more authentic, sort of liking things because they like them, not liking them because they've seen them being liked by other people. And yeah, interesting thing to do. And also for creators, and not placing too much pressure on how people see you, just people enjoying your content. Obviously for you it would matter how many people follow you, how much views or thank God or whatever, but that's a very interesting thing, man. So I'm waiting on Facebook to see or on Instagram to see how they implement that. It's an exciting feature and it will change a lot of things for us as humanity. Okay, my battery before it runs out, I think I'm out of here, man. It's 30 minutes plus 14, that's 45 plus about 4 minutes, so I'm about 50 minutes, which is fine. Man, I'm looking at this guy now, this comedian who's ruling a country. Okay, so it's been in Somadegisi. I'll see you in the next video or in the next podcast. Get out of here. Alert step black on 735. Alex LGG8 5 tips. Leak dummies. Oh, we've seen that the leaks for iPhones as well. They're here. That is very interesting, and I think they are true. Yeah. Okay, I'm done now. Peace. Be out of here. 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 Out of here. Be out of here. Be out of here. Be out of here. Be out of here. If you didn't do this at school, your life was boring. Obviously, you'll get into trouble. But man, this is a nice thing to do. I should make music. Obviously, damn, there's this guy, Timbaland. That guy makes beats. Man, I've been looking at his latest beats. Shit. Obviously, does snaps of them on what's this? On IGTV, and man, that's interesting. Okay, out of here. So I think it's been fun. See you next time. Peace.